Hello, Foundlings, and welcome back to A Tale of Remembrance. This is episode 3, and I am Quentin, your GM here, joined by...
Hi, I'm Emily, also known as Once Upon a Time as Snow, but today I'm playing Aurora. Yeah.
When last we left off with you and Aurora, Snow, you had gone through an ordeal in an attempt to recover your memories. Having met with a healer of sorts, you entered a dreamscape, which, from my understanding, left you with more questions than answers.
Why did you just do quotations?
Oh, no, the reason.
Around healer?
As a brief recap, if you do recall, after you were looking to leave the healer's hut and rejoin your benefactor, Sir Prescot, you were informed that he was actually summoned to have an audience with the Baron.
So, am I with Travis at this point, or am I just leaving the hut?
You would be just leaving the hut. Upon arriving outside, however, you find that Sir Prescot is not alone. You remember being in some sort of a back garden where you found the healer's tent, and Sir Prescot was originally with you inside, but he's currently outside and surrounded by 4 rough-looking guards, all wearing the same dark cloaks with matted armor. And it seems like he's being borderline almost carried off by the lot of them.
Aurora, as she walks out, sort of reaches her hand almost as if to stop the wolf for a moment, and she just watches momentarily.
You do notice that as the wolf walks out with you, he begins to take a low stance, and you hear a deep growl as the hackles of his neck rear.
I debate if we should get involved in this, wolf. What say you?
After them.
Very well. Aurora, after coming to this conclusion with the wolf, feeling a bit more confident and empowered, she begins to walk forward, not hurriedly, but she is allowing the wolf to take a faster pace. And as she approaches towards the guard, she speaks very loudly. I dare say, are you taking my guide from me?
One of the guards seems to turn back and seems to stare at you with a look of confusion, but seems to keep hauling off Sir Prescot. At which point, Prescot turns around.
Oh, no. Don't worry. It will be perfectly fine. Just an audience, of course. This is how they treat people around here.
Sickening. But if you feel confident, she nods, then be on your way. Unless there's something you need from me. And she's kind of offering her help, but she's not at the same time stepping out too far on a limb. She's going to look at his body language. How is he acting?
Though he verbally attempted to dissuade you, it seems...
Should I roll sense motive, or is it that obvious?
Yeah, you can roll sense motive. Let me roll how well he is.
That is a 19 on my sense motive.
Though he is attempting to verbally dissuade you, you can see a panicked look on his face and sweat roll down his brow. And he is pretty much being hoisted off by these 4 armed individuals.
If you would like, why don't you stay behind in the halls?
She looks him up and down, and then she looks at the guards. Aurora watches for the wolf's body language, taking a cue from him just in case something should happen. She'll approach a little bit closer to the guards and look them up and down, somewhat seductively. So, for what reason are you taking my guide from me?
After catching up with the guards, Prescott is not making it particularly easy to carry him off. The 4 of them are slowed down a bit, and you quicken your pace in order to catch up with them. Eventually, one does respond to your query.
It's simple, madam. He was summoned by the Baron. We're just doing our job.
What? Are you afraid he can't walk there himself?
I'm afraid he won't walk there himself.
Let the man have some dignity. We can go together, perhaps.
Oh, don't put that upon yourself, Miss Aurora. It might be unseemly or safe. Who knows? I wouldn't wish to impose. I know you're quite a very busy woman.
She thinks in her head, I don't know what he means by being busy. There's really not much going on up here.
You can roll a sense motive.
Okay. 18.
He seems to be attempting to dissuade you from coming in very abruptly or noticeably.
Very well. But I should like to meet this Baron, seeing that I am recently coming into this town. After all, shouldn't Shouldn't he be aware of who his subjects are? She gags a little bit saying that, but she holds it in.
Should I use diplomacy because I'm an attractive lady?
Sure.
Okay. 12. But wait.
There's more?
But wait. I think...
You think? That's dangerous.
Yes, because of my my charms, because I am talking to somebody of the opposite sex, I do get a minor bonus.
Ooh.
So it is a 13 instead.
Wow. Look at that.
Yes, it's my charming trait.
One of the other guards seems like he scratches his head. Subjects get does.
Yes. I suppose he would want to. No, mate, would he care?
And he taps the other guard on his shoulder.
Does he count? Does he care about his subjects? Oh, he might care about this one. I don't know.
Just lead the way. This is ridiculous. I can't go anywhere else without my guide. After all, I don't know my way around this drab city.
One of the guards steps up.
Well, I could show you around once we're done dropping him off, if you'd like.
My dear, I don't think you could find your head from a hole in the ground.
Oh, it's quite easy. My head's up here and there.
Yes, you're quite a smart one, aren't you? But that is not the deal that I have made with this man.
Listen, we were only instructed to bring Sir Prescot. Aurora, if you're going to be this persistent, I do suppose, gentlemen, she is my accompaniment. She's assisting me on a very delicate matter. Very well. I suppose you can explain this to the Baron himself when you meet him. Let's see how pleased he is about that.
She begins sort of thinking at the wolf. Keep your guard up, and if anyone seems to give us trouble, well, you know what to do.
You do sense an understanding, and you see that he kind of snarls and bares his fangs.
All right. She walks over and she puts her hand on his side and walks alongside with him.
As he does this, one of the guards kind of flinches a little, and you are beginning to make your way outside of this back garden and towards the actual entrance of the manor. And the guard does speak up.
Your dog is going to have to stay outside. The Baron does not very much like unwanted guests, and I definitely don't think dogs are going to be very favorable.
Miss Aurora, you may wish to heed this advice.
I'm casting Dominate Person on this man who's challenging me at this point.
It's fine.
Okay.
Sir Prescot is also speaking up.
Yes. You will allow me to bring this wolf inside. You will guide us to the Baron, and you will say nothing. She seems to wave her hand as she says this, using her focus. Will does negate, so the person would get a will save, and it lasts 1 day per level, so it would last for 12 days.
What's the will save?
It is a 5th level spell. The save DC is a 19.
Oh, yes. If it were up to me, I can certainly let you in and guide you there. I'm just saying the Baron will not be pleased.
You will obey, and we will move on.
As you begin to step up the stairs into the manor, and the guard in the back, who previously instructed you but has since been pulled under your influence, that guard is no longer mentioning anything, but the guard in front does kind of raise his eyebrow at this a bit.
Gorm, what are you doing back there? You know the rules. The Baron won't want the mutt in here. He has to stay outside, miss. She
sends a telepathic thought to the person. Gorm, get the wolf in.
You see, this woman is blind. This is a seeing eye dog, sir. She clearly can't function without it. If she's so blind, then how was she able to see us traveling with Prescot?
She sighs heavily.
It's a very good point.
He is my seeing eye companion. I'm very nearsighted.
Well, then we'll have to get you a pair of spectacles. Whereas we will need to get that mutt a rope so he can be tied to a tree out back.
Wolf, she's thinking, let's show him who is boss here. And I am going to encourage the wolf to intimidate into submission.
Go for it.
The wolf gets my skill ranks. So give me a second.
Yeah, he does. But he uses his charisma.
No, don't do this to me.
Yeah.
It's a -2 for his charisma.
And I have 5 ranks. 18.
You see as the man kind of stumbles back.
Yes. If you think a rope can keep him contained.
I certainly don't. But all the more reason that I don't believe he should be before the Baron if he is such a hostile beast.
He's only hostile to fools.
One of the other guards laughs.
You'll find the Baron might be one, so for his safety, we do insist that maybe we get some distance between us and the wild animal.
All of the guards do now seem thoroughly frightened by your companion, at the very least. But in so doing, they are less eager to let it inside and near them.
How many guards are there?
There are 4.
Should I just kill them all? Just make it simple. No, just walk
That
past
would
everything.
change your current situation.
Fine. Wolf, you'll stay out here. And then she thinks to him, but you will come if I need you.
I'll follow.
And you see that he circles around a few times in the garden and then sits, but keeps a very close and careful watch on you. And roll a perception check.
27.
Making your way through the great halls now, as you have left the garden behind and entered the manor, your footsteps echo as you walk. The manor is vast, but vacant, save for the loud, boisterous noise that comes clamoring from down what you can only assume to be the barracks. Making your way through the gray stone halls, you follow a very long red carpet, which guides your way through the manor. On either side of you, there are these massive pillars, which you are unsure whether they are for structural support to uphold the tall ceilings, or just for show. On the left side of you, between each pillar, there are windows which look out onto the estate, and though their view seems to be blocked by overgrowth and unkempt hedges, and what little you can see out shows the busy, crowded tents and the menagerie that currently occupies the front courtyard, you swear that you can spot something lurking just outside your vision. To your right, between each pillar, there are paintings and pedestals for sculptures and busts, though most everything there is crooked, damaged, or in some cases completely missing. Though eventually you find your way to a wide gap in the pattern of pillars, which is separated and spaced by a set of massive, dark, stained wooden doors. On the pillars on either side of the door hang massive ceiling-to-floor red banners with some strange insignia of a circle with a crooked cross-section in the middle. On either side of the door there are massive flaming sconces, and in front of each one is stationed a guard in the same black matte armor and dark cloaks, each holding a spear in their hand and having a sword on their waist, as well as a shield on their back.
As Aurora is walking, she then speaks out loud. So, for whatever reason, would a baron need to summon you, Sir Prescot?
Oh, well, madame, you do see, I tend to advise the Baron on occasion. As I mentioned, I bard, orator, pen for hire. I'm quite renowned, and I've been around many a courts in my days. My wisdom is heavily sought after, as well as my penmanship.
Surely he did not have his guards summon you in such a manner just to write a trivial letter for him.
Quite possibly, as you see,
The Baron is not of the most literate individuals.
or he struggles with such affluence in which I do pertain.
So he is a fool.
But one of great power and of many advisors, of which I am privy and graced to count myself one of, luckily. So, as you can tell, I do get this wonderful entourage after me ever so often.
She smirks a little bit. Yes. An entourage. Of course, that's what I'd call it. Not a strong arm.
They are quite well endowed, I will say, in their physique, but, no, they're wonderfully good people, isn't that right, Ravna?
Yes, we're very well acquainted.
Aurora thinks Gorm insult Ravna.
Gorm has a sudden tensed expression on his face, and you see as he clenches his jaw, and you even see a little bit of blood dribble from inside his mouth, as it seems like he is quite forcibly biting down on his tongue. Gorm is a lower-ranking officer.
She makes note of this. So, if you don't have any ideas of why he's calling you Sir Prescot, perhaps you, Sir Ravna, maybe you could share a little, enlighten us. That way we're at least prepared.
Though I would be quite honored to. Why don't you ask him yourself?
As he gestures to the set of doors, and the two guards then seem to tense and heave. You can see as they turn around and begin to push these set of massive doors, their muscles bulge and tense as the heavy doors scrape against the ground and they're heaved open.
Me as a player, I'm just thinking, I really should find out what I'm not supposed to say, but it's too late. All right, should I make a perception check?
Sure, that'd be great.
The total perception is an 18.
Entering the Great Hall, you can finally see the massive size and grandeur of this manor, though you would swear it's more of a king's palace. Clearly, there was no expense too great when constructing this hall. Massive 30-foot tall ceilings upheld by wide Roman columns. Light streams through decorative stained glass windows on the ceiling, leaving the floor a menagerie of vibrant colors. Between the natural light from the ceiling and the large golden bowls stoked with fire, the room is well lit. So much so that you can see the walls are lined with intricate tapestries, all containing the same sigil of a red circle with a golden crooked crossway in it, and it's outstretched on the floor even, where there's a wide red carpet with gold trim leading to the footstep of what can only be described as a throne. Staring more intently at the throne, you can see that there is clearly a man sat upon it, which must be none other than the Baron. He is fully adorned with royal flush red robe with fur lining, a golden jeweled crown set atop his head, and an equally as stunning gold scepter with a large gem fixated at the center of it. But for all the grandeur and gravitas, the Baron himself seems underwhelming, vacant, frail even. The crown lays crooked on his head, and the robe is somewhat askew, drooping more towards his left shoulder. His grasp on the scepter is so weak that it appears as if it could drop at any moment.
She looks him up and down, confused as to why this person is dressed the way he is, and also why he looks like he's at the door of death.
Walking in further, you notice that the guards did not seem to follow you. They seemed to stand at the doorway, and the guard at the lead, Ravnar, said something as, "It sounds as if the doors are closing."
Can I catch what he says?
Sure. Roll a perception check.
That is an 18.
Play nice. We'll be right outside.
Sir Prescot makes a hurried pace and almost scampers up to the right-hand side of the Baron's throne. You're taking a more casual gait, and you notice that there is another man on the left. It's the man of small stature you met at the tavern who was accompanying the supposed Baron's nephew.
Aurora whispers over to Sir Prescott. Prescott, what exactly is this? That is a dead man on a chair.
Bite your tongue. He is the person currently sitting on the throne, and that is what matters.
So, if anybody is sitting on the throne, then they become the one in charge? That's it?
If it were so easy. Sure. However, I will say that there are a number of individuals who keep this person on the throne specifically for his state of being.
So he's a puppet.
As you are mid-conversation, you see the Baron raise his other hand.
Who is it that you have brought before me, Prescott?
Your Grace, this is none other than my compatriot. You notice that Prescott addresses the Baron. While attempting to attend to personal matters of my own, this is a good and dear friend of my niece Claire, whom you may have been informed has as of late gone missing. This young lady is attempting to help me locate her, but seeing as she is not well versed within the city limits, I have been her guide.
Very well, so long as she does not impede on my business.
She's just thinking, what business does a dead man have sitting on a throne?
Prescott, I have brought you here to order a decree. Henceforth, martial law shall be emplaced on this town. There shall be a curfew, and no one shall be allowed in or out of the city limits. Everyone shall find sanctuary within my estate. For those who do not comply, they will be brought here forcefully and subject to less favorable conditions.
Aurora gives an eye to Prescott.
While I do admire your lordship's gracious decision to provide shelter and sanctuary to the citizens within the walls of your estate, I must say that does leave numerous critical parts of the city very vulnerable to the ever-present and looming threat of the barbarians who have been plaguing us. Numerous individuals will not be able to bring their possessions and may lose property of their land. Though Prescott's words were clear and full of sense and some conviction, the Baron does not seem moved in the slightest. In fact, it's unclear whether or not he even heard any of it. His eyes seem glazed over. He has a distant stare about him, and his complexion is unchanging.
Can I use detect magic, please?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I mean, he's an old man. He can't hear very well anyway, so she kind of starts mumbling under her breath, something along the lines of like, tell me the source of magic, the darkness that is in this room. And so I'm going to, I guess, focus and concentrate to see what I see, feel, and touch.
Okay. Utilizing detect magic, you take a long moment to look over the Baron, and you do sense a dark and ingrained sinister aura about him, but I would need a knowledge arcana from you to determine more about its nature.
I rolled a 1. I have a total of 11.
Certainly is strong and compelling dark magic, whatever it is, though for some reason it seems obscure to you. Someone very powerful may have grasp over this Baron.
Okay.
And while the Baron seems unchanging, you nonetheless hear a response to Prescott's earlier statement, though it isn't coming from the small-statured man to the Baron's left. Instead, it is accompanied by the echo of footsteps throughout the Great Hall. Roll a perception check.
The total here is 27.
You notice that there was apparently a third party standing within the shadows of one of the pillars to the left of the Baron. Outside of your vision, under the shadow of the ceiling where the light did not reach him, an individual begins to walk forward and speaks. And what perchance do you suppose we do, Sir Prescott? Mobilize our only defenses, abandon our fortifications, and in a desperate attempt to run off the countless numbering barbarians, which have yet to even provoke our city? Incurring their wrath, undoubtedly losing the majority of our own forces, and then leaving the city completely defenseless. No. We have a stockpile of preserves. Our fortifications are well manned, and even prepared for the most intensive invasions. Not to mention the fact that the raiders haven't even set foot within the range of our influence. They've been content with looting small villages who have neglected our alliance and protection, and are pillaging insignificant trade routes. Seeing as you are merely the orator and pen for hire here, and have never been a public official, I can understand why your words are sweet and appealing, but they lack any form of sense. Sir Prescott's face flush red, and an unwavering scowl planted upon his face. His generally well-regulated speech and calm demeanor is supplanted with clear agitation. And pardon me, who were you again? If I'm not mistaken, you are less than a public official, not even being a citizen or holding any residency in these territories, and yet you hold such a tone in council. As the individual steps forward and is now illuminated by the red hue of the fire that burns in the golden sconces, you see a tall, slender man who is well-dressed. He is about 6'2", with messy styled blonde hair that is so light in this illumination you could appear it's almost white. He stands, tall, walks, and talks very properly. He's dressed in an all-black suit with a fashionable tailcoat jacket, a vest, a straight black tie, and white gloves. As he steps forward, you can hear his footsteps echo along with the jingle of a chain which seems to start clasped at the top button of his vest and can be traced to the inside of his left jacket pocket. Encroaching ever closer to the Baron, the man, not even looking Sir Prescot in the eye, retorts, "I beg you to recall that I'm an honored guest of the Baron, who himself called upon my aid due to my abounding experience and vast assets, both of which you seem to be currently lacking, Prescott." Roll a perception check as you see the man steps towards the throne and leans towards the Baron.
26.
You hear him whisper ever so quietly, "Say that I am a welcome guest of yours, sought after for my guidance, and that this is a matter which will be questioned no further." For a moment you see that the Baron's head slowly raises and begins to wave slightly from side to side, and then he speaks, though his eyes don't seem to meet anyone, and his gaze is directed straight ahead as if talking to a large crowd of sorts.
Certainly, Draken here is a welcomed guest of this court, who is sought after for his guidance and opinion, of which this matter will be questioned no further.
And with that, he bangs his scepter on the ground, which echoes and fades the hall, which is filled with a moment of silence. And you see the smirk of the man that you can infer to be Draken's face. Sir Travis takes this setback with a solemn expression and a deep bow. You hear him mutter a response in a defeated and quiet tone.
"As you wish, your grace, I shall let that topic of conversation lie where it is."
After a long and awkward silence, Prescott once again does speak, though still bowed.
"If it would please your grace, may we return to discuss a proper course of action regarding the bandits and savages that plague this land?"
Aurora begins laughing. How trite this is, how hilarious. You bow to a dead man on a throne. A puppet. Oh, you weak, pitiful man.
Aurora, I beg you, pay reverence to the Baron of this land. The Baron is a very well-established ruler of these parts, and under his dominion is where we find ourselves as of late.
I do not bow to a dead man. A man who is so close to death that he would honestly, with one slight breeze, fall over. This is foolishness, and I beg you to not obey such a foolish order. As you said, a fool sits on the throne.
Oh, me, no. You must have misheard me. I said it would be foolish for anyone else to sit on the throne, so long as your grace, Sir Reginald, you may live long and prosper here.
Prescott, I find it interesting indeed that your sweet young niece would have acquainted herself with such a spitfire. Turning his attention and gaze to you, he seems perplexed for a moment and walks forward. "Pardon me, but do I know you?"
She looks him up and down. I would hope not, but I can't say that I do.
Similar, but very different. The woman I knew wasn't quite as outgoing as you are, and he seems to look you up and down.
I want to kill him. I want to kill him so bad.
Regarding of matters of business, seeing as we are in the royal court, and this is the topic of today's discussion, regardless of all the events that have transpired, I've made my advisement quite clear, Sir Prescott, and a necessary distinction must be made here. These bandits, or savages as you call them, are much more than that. They're raiders, Vikings if you would. They come during the prosperous seasons and they leave during the winter so that they can return home before any port access would freeze over. At which point, on their departure, we can reclaim our land and make any necessary fortifications in preparation for their potential return.
And what if they decide it'd be more advantageous to simply secure shelter here for the winter months. And what if the shelter they seek happens to be the homes of the citizens within the undefended city walls? Prescott, nonsense. You attribute too much to these ruffians. They're simple folk. They come to raid our treasure, and they will return home to relish in their profits. Besides the point, having no stockhold of food, they would not be able to survive the winter months on the slim pickings they have garnered through their current assaults. Their most obvious and only choice is to return home, and we should act accordingly, and merely wait out their presence as we have been doing thus far.
GM, didn't I see this guy with the white hair, Draken, in the vision I had?
If it would please you, at the very least, would you allow me to take a small, unaffiliated party to protect the nearby villages in a cautious preparation for the instance of the barbarians' potential assault on the city-encompassed territory, and of course look for my dear niece Claire, for I fear for her. Of course, I would cover the fees with my own personal capital, and this would cost the people and your court nothing. Draken, eager to shut this course of action down, begins to respond. This is obviously out of the but before he finishes his statement, he is surprisingly cut off. You see, the Baron has corrected his posture slightly. He has a firmer grasp on his scepter, and his eyes begin to look clearer for a moment. To you I shall grant this, Sir Prescott, for I have found it reasonable and in my favor. You notice that in this split second, Draken's composure is broken. He wheels around with visible frustration, and a vastly different tone refers to the Baron. Surely you cannot mean this. I have spoken clearly.
Well, that's good and all. Now, are we done here? This conversation has gone on far too long. The man who is... She looks Draken up and down. Annoying. Continues to talk, and yet he undermines your authority, Great Baron.
And the woman who wasn't invited still dares speak in the first place. The business will conclude once Prescott has drafted the papers and the Baron has sealed them for me to send out and distribute. Why you're here in the first place, I don't even know. You're free to leave as you wish, ma'am. As I am the guide of Aurora, I take full responsibility for her actions.
I wouldn't do that if I were you.
She will accompany me until our business is finished, and we shall move on.
She eyes him up and down, sighs, and stays silent.
Aurora, if you would follow me to the back room, I shall draft the papers post-haste, and we shall be on our way.
Very well.
Sir Prescott leads you to a back room in the left-hand side of the Great Hall. It is somewhat to the side of the throne, and you are no longer within the eye line of the Baron, but you do see that Draken seems to kind of tilt his head slightly in your direction and wave at you.
She doesn't do anything back. Very confused.
It seems as if Sir Prescott has taken you back to a scribe's quarters. It's just a little offshoot of the Great Hall, and it seems this is where all of the paperwork is drafted up to be sealed later by the Baron himself. There are a number of scrolls and quills here, and he starts drafting something.
Oh, Aurora, you do make my life quite interesting, I will say. I was hopeful that the incident with Leonardo in the tavern was just a happy circumstance that perchance would befall me, but it seems as if it is a part of your very outgoing personality.
I did nothing. I just laughed a little.
Yes, certainly, and said a few things.
So you've never seen that other man in the room?
Oh, no, I am unfortunately acquainted with him.
Who is he exactly?
Too much is not particularly known. He came about here, 2-3 months ago. Back when the city was still prosperous to an extent. On its decline, however, he had business here of some sort. I'm not quite sure what it was. Everyone speaks of it in hushed, somber tones, but he had a way with the townspeople, constantly buying out their entire stock. How he transported it, I do not know. He amassed somewhat of a following and gained a decent amount of capital and persuasion here. And then, almost like clockwork, in a predictive measure, he began almost grooming the current Baron for his position, advising him exactly in which land to buy.
Your Baron is not under any of his own control. You do know he's under a spell of sorts, right?
Of this I can neither confirm nor deny.
I can confirm it.
But I will say it would explain a lot. Unfortunately, there is not much we can do in this regard.
Well, remove the puppet. You out the master. She's insinuating potentially, well, not saying it, but she's definitely thinking it. If I kill the Baron, it would force the master's hand.
Well, I do understand your conveyal. I will say, however, this runs the problem of the inner turmoil. We already have so many enemies on other fronts. I don't foresee this city could take too much more distress. If something like that were to radically change, it may tip the scales in the raiders' favor. We would be weak, disorganized. They could just march right through here.
It is your choice what you do. This has nothing to do with me. I'm only here for one reason, maybe two, to get supplies and figure out a few things.
Again, I do greatly appreciate your aid, and I'm sorry for the trouble in which we may have caused you, or you us.
What was that?
I do wish to be able to aid you in any way. Supplies I can certainly offer. As to what you are looking for, has anything struck a chord with you? Did the healer help at all?
Well, she might have revealed an acquaintance that I would rather not have.
Oh, well, that's still a lead to follow. Have we met this individual?
Recently, yes.
Was it someone at the tavern? Someone in the courtyard?
He's a real, this term keeps coming to my mind, piece of work.
Well, I...
We met him just moments ago.
I'm sorry. Your vague descriptions do lead to a misunderstanding, I presume. Clarity would expedite this immensely, and hopefully put my concerns to rest. You couldn't possibly mean Draken.
Apparently, in my memories, he was there at one point. Although I don't really have a good feeling about him in general. Perhaps. Or I could be mistaken. Maybe he has a twin brother.
Oh, well, stories of doppelgangers have been spread through numerous cultures, though I doubt we're that fortunate.
I don't like him. I don't like what he's doing here. I don't really care what he's doing. I just don't like his attitude.
His temperament is indeed a, learned taste. Somewhat like a mold which will grow over you.
Should I kill him?
Unsure of his influence or sway, that may have repercussions which neither of us fully understand. And I must say, Miss Aurora, it would be rather unbecoming of a lady, or not something I could ever advise.
I suppose that's why you're not my advisor. Hurry along. I must get back to the wolf.
Indeed, strangely enough. Thankfully, I have drafted both what Draken requested, but also an official document to prove the legitimacy of my small party in an attempt to find Claire. Did the healer's hut help you remember anything pertaining to her?
The wolf saw her. She was in one of those caravan things, wagons. Apparently she was chained up.
Oh.
I think. I have a bad memory.
So indeed it is the worst that I have feared. Well, at least she is still with us. Do you recall when this memory was of? Was it distant or very present recently?
Oh, it was very present. It was very present. It was right before I arrived at the village.
Oh, but days then? Oh.
Yes, like a day ago.
She must still be close. I do wonder where she could have gotten off to. Would you mind ever so much that... Would you accompany me and my small party of myself and, along with Harrison? We were going to look for her. If you do recall anything, or the wolf is able to track her, that would expedite matters.
I thought that was part of the deal that we made, Prescott.
Of course, it just seems that you are being immensely impulsive as of late, in a very flattering way, I shall say.
Prescott, I am a lady of my word. If I give it to you, then it shall be so.
I do greatly appreciate that. All right, I will be right back. I need only the Baron's seal for this.
I would love to see this. I just want to see this man's reaction and how much he tries to stop you. It seems he doesn't like losing control.
Prescott moves and stands up from his desk, which he was sat at, and grabs 2 folded pieces of parchment and begins walking out of this scribe's offshoot in the hall and begins making way to the throne. Are you standing directly beside him as he approaches, or?
She's not going to walk behind him. She will walk next to him, observing her surroundings, and also thinking to the wolf, how are things outside?
You sense that the wolf is almost bored, as if it is longing for some sort of encounter or something adventurous to happen.
No, wolf. As much as I would like to begin something, unfortunately, I do not have the materials to complete any of these abilities of mine. It's quite unfortunate. However, wolf, there may be somebody here that we know. Would you like to see him?
Through your empathic link, you sense that the bloodlust, per se, that was almost feeding off of your own emotions, seems to wane slightly and is replaced by excitement and curiosity.
Find a window, I guess. I don't know. Or you could just break in. I allow any of these things.
Roll a perception check.
10!
The hall is quite absent of any sort of clattering or broken glass. You don't make notice of anything, spare for the fact that you do notice that Draken is missing. Sir Prescott just merely walks up to the Baron's throne, and the Baron pulls out a red wax seal, which he holds over by one of the flaming sconces, melts slightly, and then stamps his seal on the parchments, which were written by Prescott, as if it was just a very simple procedure done many times before.
She watches. Well, wolf, thinking this in her head.
Yes. And you can sense that came seemingly from a close distance, even though it is some form of mind link, and you feel something brush up against your back leg.
She looks behind her.
And then you hear, sat next to you, there is now a very large wolf in the throne room.
My, how stealthy wolf. Hold on. You know that wasn't stealthy at all. Wow. How stealthy, wolf.
Did not help that your perception was a 10.
She pets him. Doesn't say anything. She just sort of just continues to pet him. Aurora thinks to the wolf, oh dear wolf, it appears that he's not here at this time.
Here.
And you notice, before you, walks the gentleman in which you are referring to. Unmistakable you are indeed. Certainly not a dime a dozen. I would definitely recognize you just about anywhere, especially with a companion of such following you. And he looks around you and glances towards the wolf.
She looks him up and down. Whatever could you be talking about?
Oh, you strike me as someone who always makes an entrance. And quite impressive first impressions.
Oh, please, you flatter me. I've done nothing of the kind. I just happen to be. And that's it.
Certainly in a peculiar state indeed. I can't say that I was expecting to see one such as yourself here.
She looks a little leery. Such as myself? What exactly does that mean?
Generally, one does not bring a 6-foot-tall pure white wolf into the hall of a baron so unannounced, and impressively as such, sneak it in past 6 armed guards. Quite the feat.
Aurora's just thinking, were you really that stealthy, wolf? I didn't even hear you, so I'm not sure how well this went. If it went that well, we have an advantage. But she doesn't respond to him. She's just petting the wolf.
I do believe we haven't been properly introduced. The name is Draken, and he offers you a hand.
Can I sense motive him?
Sure.
As a 26 on my sense motive, attempting to discern really if he recognizes me, since she sort of recognizes him from a memory.
Given all of the previous context clues, you could infer that he may have some previous knowledge of you, and you doubt that this is genuinely your first encounter with him, but for some reason he seems to be withholding that from you.
She won't take his hand. I don't trust a man who reaches out a hand so willingly, and yet speaks with daggers behind his lips.
Nothing but a standard and courteous gesture, I assure you.
I believe that the standard is a bow.
Pardon me then, my lady. You didn't present yourself as one, so I didn't presume to treat you as one. But then he does take his hand, bring it to his waist, and the other one back behind him, and takes a bow before you.
She does a very slight curtsy, but does not go lower than he does.
So, my lady, would you mind giving me something else to refer to you as? Or must I go through other channels in order to find this information?
As if you could find other information on me. Very well, though. My name is Aurora.
And he seems to walk past you, up towards your wolf, and he begins to pet it. And how is Nachia doing? And he scratches behind his ear.
She doesn't like that. Wolf, she's thinking, do not allow him to get so close to us.
The wolf was surprisingly relaxed around this individual and was not threatened by him the same as he was others before. Perhaps it was just his general demeanor, but upon your command, he does tense up and begin to snarl at the man. I see. Both you and him have quite mirrored personalities.
You act as if you know me.
Well, you are quite a loud personality, and there's much that can be inferred.
Just trying to think of how to handle this man. I don't like it. He's too close. He's too close. Yeah, I don't know where to go with that. I wouldn't know otherwise. I didn't know I was supposed to be silent in a room of fools. Yet I don't have time for this.
What a wonderful demeanor to have, quite honestly. Alas, I find it expediting to occasionally follow suit within convention. Though I certainly do appreciate the change in mindset. It's quite refreshing.
Please stop referring to me as if you know me. You're far too familiar.
There are many things I know, you'll come to find. But you, Aurora, I would like to get to know more. Your situation intrigues me, and I find your relationship with Prescott to be presumably ill-informed.
I have no interest in the man. I'm only here for a few reasons.
You will find that a man of my stature and assets is immensely charitable and willing to give aid. Perhaps we can talk about what it is that you're here for. Perhaps over dinner?
When did I eat last?
You had a bread roll at breakfast.
I'm hungry.
Yeah, it's afternoon, almost evening.
I see the gentleman asks me to go with him to dinner. I will consider it.
See that you do. I imagine you would be an absolutely enamoring party guest. I would love to have you at my table. I'll send a driver down to the Broken Wagon Inn, say around 8 o'clock. If you have no desire to come, just wave him on.
As if I need your charity. Her stomach growls really loudly. She blushes slightly. Yes, well.
He chuckles slightly, but as he does, he's also turning away and seems to be giving you a waving gesture. And you hear him mutter something under his breath.
Perception check?
Roll a perception check. I'm rolling stealth. It's bad stealth.
16.
Save the facade, you haven't changed a bit.
As he's walking away and is a good distance from me, I'll say, I don't like him, Wolf. I don't like him one bit.
You get no response, but a series of conflicted emotions from the wolf. For some reason, there's a strange air of familiarity, but also of distrust.
Yes, Wolf. Don't be so familiar with people we don't know. It's so odd and dangerous. What if he came up and tried to stab me? And you just let him?
You sense a little bit of shame. The wolf's head hangs low as he kind of just sits there, waiting for Prescott to return, who does momentarily. All right, well,
Miss Aurora, I do believe we did have a discussion. Thankfully, no one noticed somehow. Let's leave through the back door, shall we? I'm sure we can find Harrison somewhere out in the courtyard.
Whatever could be the problem, Prescott?
While I can very easily explain your accompaniment to me, I do say it will be slightly harder to explain away your 6-foot-tall furry friend.
Just give me a stick, I'll close my eyes, and he can be my seeing eye dog. Wolf.
Yes. Follow me.
And he kind of begins to scurry away.
All right, Wolf, let's go after him.
Roll a perception check.
13.
The hall is vacant for the most part. The Baron is still dazedly sitting on his throne, and there does seem to be the individual still to his left, though he hasn't really made any sound or even spoken much at all. He seems to almost be cowering, stood very upright, but shaking, clearly. But you also don't see Draken anywhere, even though you do recall him just walking away.
A shadow man.
Sir Prescot is walking over to the right-hand side, where you do notice that there does seem to be a smaller wooden door.
Can the wolf fit through it?
It is tall and wide enough for one person to fit. It seems as if it may have been a servant's corridors.
Out this way. Very seldom in use now. There's not much traffic, so we shouldn't bump into anyone.
All right, let's go. I hunger.
You make your way through this barely dimly lit long corridor, which seems to snake and curve around, barely wide enough for you to walk, and the wolf seems to be grazing his shoulders on the sides ever so often, but eventually you do make your way to another wooden door. It unlatches and creaks open, and you find yourself in an old and antique kitchen of sorts. It is dusty, cobweb-filled. It does not seem as if it has been used in quite some time.
Aurora looks around, somewhat confused as to why it's not been used in so long. Sir Prescot, if people live here, then why is the kitchen not being used?
This was one saved purely for the barony, whoever was in charge at the time. Upon Sir Reginald Leopold III taking place, though, there was an influx of need for the primary cooks to be situated closer towards the barracks. The Baron himself normally eats his meals in his room, from what I understand. There have not been any large feasts in the Great Hall for quite some time, so much so that they entirely removed the table.
Is there any ash around here?
Please roll a perception check.
18.
You do notice that there is some soot or ash in a vacant chimney, which seems like it has not been used for quite some time, but also was not really kept up with or cleaned up after.
Aurora will go over and find some sort of cloth or bag just to gather up some ash and put it in.
After looking around and opening a couple of cupboards, you do manage to find a set of tableware, including a stack of folded napkin sets. Dusty and kind of starched. They seem firm and in desperate need of being washed, but they will suffice for what you need. You unfold it, and you are able to pile a small bit of ash in the pouch.
A feast of ashes. Or a feast of fools.
Miss Aurora, if you do mind, though it is not of use, this is still the barony's property, and though you may be cleaning, I know not what your intentions are precisely, but we do need to get moving.
Oh, don't worry, he won't miss a thing.
I'm sure he won't even notice.
She'll continue onward and take the small tissues that she's gathered and probably try and tie them and wrap them and put them in the other bag that she has.
You make your way from one doorway to the next and eventually end up actually running into a few people. It seems as if you're still inside, but there's a small room about the same size as the kitchen, but it feels smaller due to its cramped nature. It may very well be the servants' quarters. There are a number of wooden bunked beds and a number of people there, though everyone's there. Oddly enough, you would imagine that any serving staff would be busy during the day around a castle, cooking, cleaning, attending to any people who may be there, but everyone seems to kind of just be lying around. Everyone actually here seems almost sickly. And you do hear the rattling of some metal.
Can I take a closer look?
Sure.
27.
If this were a servant's quarters, it would probably have been more well kept up with, and these people seem less like servants and more like they are indentured of sorts. The rattling of metal comes from chains which seem to be attaching their ankles to their bedposts. All of the individuals are wearing very melancholic, tan, colorless clothes, and all of them seem sickly and frail, coughing.
Sir Prescot, what exactly is going on here?
We should not stay here long. A number of the ill have been quarantined to this facility.
The ill?
Indeed. Evangeline has been attempting to stifle the spread of whatever it is, but something has been moving its way through the keep. Unfortunately, due to new mandates, I fear that close proximity will be unavoidable. This place shall soon be flooded with whatever inhabitants lay left in the city.
Can I use detect magic again? Just
Sure.
to see if anything's odd's going on?
Yeah, you may.
And she'll whisper a similar chant as before.
You notice that there is indeed a strong magical aura present in each one of these individuals. It seems as if it is lingering, as if it is something continuous and ongoing.
Can I roll a knowledge arcana?
You may.
I rolled a 19, so 29.
From your knowledge arcana, you can tell that there is some necromatic spell present. Something that seems to be draining the life force of these people slowly.
How can I tell if something is a curse? I don't think there's any specific way. Well, I mean, there's no harm in my character trying to cast Remove Curse on a person.
If you have the ability to cast Remove Curse, you may attempt to do so. How does it function?
Remove Curse says that I have to make a caster level check against the DC of each curse affecting the target. Success means the curse is removed.
Okay, so you are going against the DC of the curse.
Yes.
All right, what was your roll?
My roll was an 18, but I add my caster level.
Okay.
So my caster level is obviously going to be 12. So Quentin, it's a 30.
Feeling a strange desire to aid these people, almost more so out of curiosity than concern, you approach, and as you do so, you make your way to one of these individuals, chained to the bedpost, secluded here. They seem frail, pale, lifeless, as if being drained by some sort of negative energy. As you approach, you gracefully whisk your hand over them, and you see some vibrant purple aura begin to surround a dark core at their center, and it seems to almost shatter it. And almost immediately, you see that the trembling individual stabilizes and becomes more colorful. Their gaunt nature seemed almost revivified to a degree.
What? Goodness, I feel terrible. Where am I?
Interesting.
Who are you?
She smiles and stands up straight and begins to walk back towards Sir Prescot. How many people are in the room, excluding ourselves?
There are a total of 17 people.
I could potentially release 5 in total. Potentially. I wonder if this would shake things up a bit more. What say you, Sir Prescot?
I must be frank, madam. I don't particularly know what you're doing, though. The condition of that individual you just approached seemed to improve. What? Are you too not a healer of sorts? In your own way?
She thinks for a moment, not exactly sure what she is. Perhaps I am. However, at this moment, I only do this out of mere curiosity. So she goes back in, and I would like to at least attempt 3 more remove curses.
Roll.
That is a 28 on the first one.
Passes.
You are my lucky few, my chosen ones. 22.
Fails.
Oof. 31.
Passes.
I'll try one more time. That way I'll have one more spell left after that.
Are you going to try on the person that you failed at previously? Yeah. Okay.
28.
Passes. All of these individuals seem disoriented, but at least more cognitive. All of the other victims fall into this illness seem to be in an almost unconscious and perpetually writhing state, but the 4 that you have freed, that you have broken this curse on are beginning to come to and are immeasurably grateful to you.
I think we shall keep this as a small secret between us. For now.
You have 2 men, a woman, and a small boy who you have healed.
Is there anything we can do for you? We are still bound here. Whatever miraculous cure you have for us, if we stay here, it may not last long, lest we be taken by this sickness again.
How strong do the chains look? Are they metal chains, rope? Oh.
Metal chains, and they seem to be clasped at their ankles and the bedposts.
Aurora looks them up and down and then looks at the wolf and thinks, can we break the chains, wolf?
Better.
And he goes up to the bedposts in which the chains are being held, and with a snap of his jowls, it seems as if he breaks and crumbles the very structure of the bed, and the chains then are loosed free as the footing that the chain was underneath it has collapsed and broken free. The beds kind of teeter and totter as there's uneven weight distribution now, but all 4 of the people, chains still attached, are more or less free.
No, Wolf, now you see the problem here. They still have chains on them. Oh dear. I don't have anything to break them.
Miss Aurora, though I do know that these individuals are all quarantined here, I don't particularly now have an excuse for escorting a 6-foot-tall wolf and 4 quarantined and chained patients.
She looks at the few individuals that she has freed. Do you have a safe place to hide?
No, not really, I have got to say. We've lived here all our lives, worked here, slept here. This is our only residence. I suppose we could potentially hide in some of the unused rooms in the manor, but other than that, I fear we'd be discovered quite easily, and particularly questioned on our recovery. Thank you for, by the way, however could you have accomplished such a thing? Some of the most trained healers have inquired towards us, sent by Draken himself.
They clearly do not have eyes that can see anything. Listen to me very closely. I do not have a way to get you out of here. I've only released you from this curse that you've been under. If you manage to survive and escape from this place, I can use people like you. I wish you the best. This is merely an experiment.
You see as all 4 of them kind of look back and forth at one another. They all kind of give you a bow and a smile and are both grateful but confused. They seem to literally pick up their chains and walk their separate ways. The 2 men split and diverge from one another, and the woman does seem to be carrying after the small boy.
I will say, Prescott, you may want to help those people, but that is a later task.
I can inquire, though, if they're hiding, it may make them difficult to find to aid, and if they are found, that might very well defeat the purpose.
She sighs and realizes, I may have a way to help them. It requires dinner with a very unpleasant person.
I hope you aren't referring to myself, though I would not mind dinner. I don't like being referred to as unpleasant, and I don't particularly remember having plans up until this point. In fact, I'm still unsure of what's going on. I was merely trying to exit the building.
Yes, but you walked me by a bunch of people who have been chained to beds for no apparent reason other than being cursed. This entire place has a curse on it.
No, quite worrying news indeed.
Yes, you better watch yourself, Prescott.
As I have been, madam. Shall we carry on? I'm sure we must meet with Harrison.
Very well.
And so she'll begin following after him, briefly glancing back.
Making your way through a series of doors ushered by Sir Prescot, you do eventually manage to find yourself back out in the courtyard of the Baron's estate without having been noticed by any guards while inside the manor.
Amazing.
He knows his way around.
He does.
Yeah, he does.
Prescott, you could have told me about the back way in. I could have relayed that to my wolf.
She pauses and leers at the wolf.
How did you get in?
Just laugh at me.
The wolf did just laugh at you.
No, I'm being very serious. How did you get in?
Window.
All right. Apparently the window did work. Prescott, we could have snuck the wolf in the first place. Well, of course, you were being dragged here.
I don't
unwittingly.
particularly know how he managed to do so.
He
But
said a window.
they're only windows which have access to the main hall outside of locked doors and corridors, or the ones on the ceiling of the estate, madam, all which I will say are all intact.
He still has light step, doesn't he?
Oh my god, that's hilarious. Okay, anyway. Yes, I'm not exactly sure which window. His speech patterns aren't exactly clear.
Yes, generally low-toned growls and barking noises are relatively vague.
Yes. She realizes again that this is not a normal thing, and she stops talking about talking to the wolf.
Let us take some time and attempt to locate Harrison. We generally rendezvous by the gate. I'm sure we'll be able to find him there.
Yes, let us rendezvous. Would you like a ride, Prescott?
Unsure by what you are implying, but then also kind of staring towards your wolf. It seems as if he is wary of the connotations.
I think I'd prefer my own 2 feet, thank you. An elderly gentleman such as myself can use the exercise.
Very well. She'll climb up onto the wolf.
Following Prescott with your wolf and yourself in tow, you make your way through this camp, garnering no shortage of attention. It seems a number of these dark, matte, armored guards are all keeping a very careful watch, and you can hear whispering in hushed tones as they murmur about you.
Yes, yes. Keep your eyes on the very pretty lady.
You hear such things as,
That's a big wolf. Never seen one so large before. What is she doing on top of it?
She just keeps riding it, and yes, wolf will garner all the attention. It's fine.
Stop laughing at me.
roll a perception check.
26.
Making your way towards the front gate, you see with a very refreshingly cheerful demeanor and a big smile, Harrison does seem to be waving onwards to you, as you are significantly easier to spot than him in a crowd, as you are sat on a 6-foot-tall wolf. He was able to notice you quite easily. But aside from that, you also do notice something else. Amidst all the various tents and people and the numerous hooded wagons, one does seem familiar. Off to your right, you notice the same hooded wagon you saw in your vision and on the roadway here.
Sir Prescott,
Yes, Aurora. We've met up with Harrison. He's right ahead.
if I were to tell you that I see the wagon your niece was being held in, what would your reaction be?
This would be an unfathomable reality. Presumably she had been captured by bandits. I'm sure if she had made her way to this town, I would have heard.
Perhaps it's not bandits after all, but rather someone in the town who is buying the people. You should take a look over there.
And she gestures to where she sees the wagon.
Peering over in the direction you state, you do notice that the wagon is tucked behind a series of tents, and there are numerous people in between you and it, as the courtyard is very bustling and busy. But you do see 2 dark-cloaked individuals standing very cautiously by the wagon.
Well, on the hunch that you are correct, I will still state that investigating such a claim, while intriguing, may be relatively difficult. Let us meet with Harrison. I doubt the wagon will be going anywhere within those few moments.
Very well, if that is your choice.
I do greatly appreciate any aid you offer, though I must orchestrate myself in some manner of tact. And, as I may be lacking in, Harrison shall bolster my strength, and may be useful in these endeavors.
She'll go along with it. but keep her eye on the wagon as she rides by.
Making your way towards Harrison, you do once again meet the very cheerful man.
Oh, wonderful to see you again, Miss Aurora. I have all of the things that you've requested.
Oh, Harrison, thank you.
I got you a more fashionable bag here for you, one with a nice shoulder strap which can be laid to your side. Something for carrying all your wares. I thought you might like it.
She slides off the wolf and she actually looks really excited for a second, and then she calms herself. Yes, well, thank you, Harrison. I guess I'll give this back to you. She'll take out her stuff from the satchel she took from his place and hand it back to him.
He looks confused initially by your statement and then immensely worried by the items which are being handed and traded to him as he's offering you this bag of supplies you have requested, and you are handing him his own personal belongings.
Yes, Miss Aurora. Glad I could help.
She takes out one of the vials that he got for her with a cork, and she opens it and then breathes into it really quickly and then corks it. Yes, perfect.
Harrison, I will say, Miss Aurora here has actually been, though upfront, somewhat useful as of late, and may have found a lead on our matter now that we have met up. She did have a vision of sorts at the healers, one in which has led her believe that the wagon over there to our right side may have some connection to my dear Claire. If you would assist me in investigating this further, I would be happy to. Miss Aurora, shall you be joining us?
What time is it?
The sun is not quite, but looking like it will be setting soon.
It looks like it'll be setting soonish.
Soonish. But you do know that it is getting closer to the winter. You're in the later fall, so the sun sets earlier here. So the sunset would be around like 6:30ish.
I have some time. If you'd like me to go with you, I can. Though I can't say how discreet I can be.
Making your way with your interesting collection of friends in tow, you, Harrison, and Sir Prescot start making your way over to the wagon. Are you approaching head on or from more of the side? You're kind of leading as the crowds part around your massive steed.
She'll slide off of the wolf and then start walking next to him, letting him essentially part the crowd, and they'll approach from the side.
Having lost your height differential, you don't stand out nearly as much, though the gasping of the people and the murmuring of people nearby definitely do, to a degree, give away your presence. You do overhear the guards speaking. Roll a perception check.
13.
Oh, we just got back and they're already getting ready to send us out again. What do they think they're doing? We barely get 2 nights sleep before we go out on the road. Yeah, I mean, at least it's not all bad. There's that pretty young thing riding around. Oh, not busty enough for my taste, I'll tell you that much. I like it with a little bit more meat on their bones. I'm sure we'll be able to find some more to your liking on our next roundabout.
Wolf, do you recognize their scent?
Faintly.
Slave traders. She'll look at Prescott and Harrison. What if I told you these people were selling the women that they caught? Probably to the highest bidder. And after all, I'm not to their taste, but obviously they're after other women.
You have quite a keen ear there, Miss Aurora. Though those accusations may be unfounded, if we are ever going to make any form of corporal decree, we would need some substantial evidence of such claims.
Oh, you only need evidence. How about an interrogation?
I don't believe such a thing in a public manner would be probably quite well settled.
Give me one moment.
Oh, dear.
All right, so Quentin, this is what I would like to do.
Sure.
All right. Aurora will issue an order to the wolf telepathically to essentially split from her and essentially go around the other side if he's able to.
Okay, that's fine.
And then what she wants to do is she wants to walk over somewhat seductively and use her charm hex
Okay.
on both gentlemen. They
Okay.
both get a save. If that fails, I can't use the hex on them within 24 hours. But
What's the save and what's the effect?
Give me 1 second.
DC save is 20. It improves the attitude of an animal or humanoid creature by 1 step, as if I'd successfully used the diplomacy skill. The effects last for a number of rounds equal to the witch's intelligence modifier. A will save negates the effect. And whether or not the save is successful, they can't be targeted by the hex again for 1 day, etc. And at 8th level, this effect improves the attitude of the target by 2 steps. This is a mind-affecting charm.
You notice that the individual closest to you, the second individual who spoke fondly of you, does seem to be entranced by you. However, his compatriot is less so.
Okay. So the one guy is kind of not really... All right, so it didn't work on him. Curses.
Exactly what you're doing.
Oh,
She'll walk over and she'll be like, "Hello, boys.
hello, miss.
Hi, I'm sorry, I couldn't help. I saw you from among the crowd, and I was wondering, would you like to go out with me for a dinner?"
Oh, I would be honored to. Yes.
What are you talking about, lass? Spot him out of a crowd, that twiggly thing. He blends right in with everyone else. You think us daft?
I don't think you daft, and I don't think him daft. When I saw him, he made me think of someone I knew a long time ago. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to get to know someone, is there?
Oh, there certainly is when we're on shift right now. Jonathan, you know good and well that we're supposed to be watching the cart for now.
Can I use diplomacy on the other man?
You certainly may.
But aren't you such a capable man? I know you could watch this area without his help. After all, Jonathan is not the best at doing watch, now is he? Diplomacy?
You may.
15?
Regardless of how capable he is, there's still a lot to watch around, especially with strangers coming and going, as apparently there have been. I don't get paid nearly enough to be doing the job for 2 people, and I know that Jonathan's not going to give me his share.
Darn it. Okay, fine. This is where we go. Quentin? Emery? I'm casting Gias.
On whomst?
The man who's refusing to let me take the other dude.
All right, go for it. What's my will save?
There's no saving throw.
No saving throw against
Gias does not have a saving throw. It affects any hit die of creature and no saving throw.
That does appear correct.
She'll smile at him. Oh, but you're going to let me take Jonathan on a date tonight, just so he can have a little fun.
All right, I mean, if that's what you really want, lass, I get Jonathan, just get on out of here. I expect you to pay me back. You're gonna have to buy me an ale later.
Will you do that for me, Jonathan?
Absolutely. Ma'am, where would you like to go?
I have a very special place. Come along. And she starts to lead him off, trying to sense where the wolf is.
The wolf is just on the other side of the wagon, as you requested him to be.
Okay. Find us a secure place, she, telepathically thinks to him.
Fool.
Me?
I'm sorry. There's a lot of guards.
So, fool could be fool as in stupid, or fool as in a manner of referring to the amount of occupants in the current area. As in, this place is full.
Ah.
You can sense that the wolf is not insulting you,
Okay, thank you.
but more so is giving a status update as of the general area, as in, this would not be a good place to do it.
Okay, so she starts leading him towards the exit.
Miss Aurora, may I ask who this individual is who you have brought with us?
Of course, this is Jonathan.
Hey, I didn't know you had so many other people with
Don't
you.
worry about them, Jonathan. We have our own little thing. They're just accompanying me since I'm new in town.
Well, I can promise you I'm not gay, nor do I have AIDS.
Okay. So she's making her way outside.
By all means, Miss Aurora, from however you managed this to happen, the carriage is right this way.
And Harrison leads you onwards towards the gate, where you do see that there is a horse-drawn carriage awaiting you. The guards at the front gate look quizzically at you, and more quizzically at Jonathan, who just kind of gives them 2 enthusiastic thumbs up, and Prescott just waves a paper with a seal from the Baron. And though they look very confused, the guards, they don't stop you, and rather let you on your business. as the four of you make your way into the carriage and begin riding off into the city. And that is where we're going to end this week's episode of A Tale of Remembrance.
Thank you, Foundlings, for joining us on another episode of A Tale of Remembrance. As you know, Quentin usually does these closeouts, but today he decided he was too tired and he wanted to go take a nap. So that's what I'm doing today, just for you. And you know you love me. Maybe. I'm not sure about that. I hope you do. Maybe that's why you listen to us. Who knows? If you've been enjoying this series, this podcast, this episode in general, consider leaving us a rating and a review wherever you're listening to your podcast. And if you want to leave individual reviews for each episode, you can do so on Podchaser. Go to podchaser.com. It is the IMDb of podcasts, so you can tell people what you think. And you can also share those reviews. Yeah. If you want to support the podcast in other ways, you can always go to our Patreon and donate monthly to the podcast. That helps us to stay relevant, I guess. Consider going to our website, missingroleplayerfound.com. That's missing, ROLL, playerfound.com, and picking up some of our merchandise where we have hats, stickers, t-shirts, and more. My personal favorite are the hats. I have 3 of them. You can also support us in other ways by going to our Patreon and donating monthly to the podcast, where you actually can get some nice bonus content. That includes episodes with bonus scenes, bloopers, and all kinds of stuff like that, as well as some other things. So consider checking it out and helping support the podcast financially, which also, goes directly towards us producing content. And, you can also do something else that's really nice, which is if you can't do any of the other things, share the podcast, though, with your friends, family, dog, cat, neighbor from across the ocean. I don't know. And also, before we head off, Foundlings, we did want to give a big shout out to our favorites: Michael Gelfi, Will Savino, Kevin McLeod, Nicholas Judy with Dark Fantasy Studio, for letting us use a lot of their music and ambiance in today's episode. We've also used some stuff from Monumental Studios, and you should check that out because they have some really amazing pieces in their collection that we're actually able to use. So please consider checking them out and supporting them as artists. And if you're ever curious on how we put together a lot of our soundscapes, which we usually do for when we are sitting down and recording, you can also check our affiliate link in our description, going to Sirenscape. We also have battlebards.com, but Sirenscape is where we put together a lot of our pieces so that we can listen to it at the table, which gets us all in the mood and helps us to perform really well for you guys. So also consider going there. And we also do have another affiliate with Dice Envy. They make some pretty nice dice. They have a good collection there, so go and support them as well. That affiliate is in the description below if you want to support us that way. Okay, Foundlings, I think that's it from me. We're signing off, and we'll see you in the next episode. Bye!